Have you ever felt like something deep within you is shifting? Not just a change in your habits or a new hobby, but a fundamental transformation of your soul. We often talk about healing as if it's a return to who we used to be before we were hurt. But evolution is different. Evolution isn't about going back, it's about becoming someone who has never existed before. Today, we are going to explore 10 powerful signs that you aren't just recovering from your past, you are actively evolving into a higher version of yourself. The first sign is a quiet one. You wake up one morning and realize that you simply don't fit into your old life anymore. It's as if the lens through which you view the world has been cleaned. Colors seem more vivid, your intuition feels sharper, and your emotions are no longer a chaotic storm, they are a compass. You're no longer sleepwalking through your responsibilities or living on autopilot. You have moved from a state of existing to a state of witnessing. You see the world for what it is, and more importantly, you see yourself for who you truly are. As you evolve, you'll notice that things start to fall away. Friendships that were built on old versions of you, career paths that no longer spark joy, and habits that used to keep you safe but now keep you small. The most beautiful part of evolution is that this release becomes effortless. You aren't quitting or losing things, they are simply losing their grip on you. You don't mourn what's gone with bitterness. Instead, you honor the role those people and patterns played in your story. You thank them for the lessons, and then you let them go with a grace that surprises even you. Pause for a moment and listen to the silence that follows that release. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what have you let go of recently that felt less like a loss and more like freedom? That space you've created is where your new life is currently growing. There comes a point in your evolution where the performance ends. You stop seeking the applause of the crowd and the likes from strangers. You realize that living for the approval of others is a prison where the bars are made of other people's opinions. You start living for your own truth. You become comfortable with being misunderstood. Even if your authenticity makes others uncomfortable or confuses those who knew the old you, you choose it anyway. Your internal yes becomes more powerful than the world's no. When you align with your soul's purpose, the universe begins to speak back to you. You start noticing the signs. Maybe it's repeating numbers on a clock, or a book falling off a shelf at the exact moment you needed its wisdom. Perhaps it's a stranger mentioning a topic you were just thinking about in private. These aren't just coincidences, they are synchronicities. It is the universe's way of whispering, I see you, you're on the right path, keep going. You stop feeling like a solitary island and start feeling like part of a grand cosmic rhythm. For most of our lives, we are taught to grind, hustle, and force things to happen. But as you evolve, you move from striving to flow. You realize that you cannot control the ocean, you can only learn how to sail. You surrender the need to micromanage every outcome, and suddenly, as if by magic, things begin to align. Opportunities appear without you chasing them. The right people show up exactly when you need them. You are no longer swimming against the current. You have realized that the current itself is carrying you exactly where you need to be. If you have felt this shift, this sudden transition from struggle to flow, I want you to share it. Drop a comment below and describe that moment of alignment. Your experience might be the exact spark of hope that someone else needs to hear to keep moving forward. Freedom from past triggers. One of the most profound markers of evolution is how you react to your past. The old wounds that used to make you flinch or spiral into anxiety, they don't sting anymore. You can look at a memory or a person who once hurt you and feel a sense of neutral peace. You've broken the cycle. You've processed the trauma so deeply that it no longer lives in your nervous system. You aren't just over it, you have integrated it. You are now vibrating at a frequency that the past can no longer reach. Confronting repressed pain. Evolution isn't always sunlight and rainbows. Sometimes it's deep, dark shadow work. You've stopped running from the parts of yourself you used to hide. You sit with your grief, your anger, and your loneliness. You let them speak. You realize that your demons were just parts of you that were crying out for love. In that brave, heavy stillness, you begin to heal what was buried for decades. You aren't afraid of the dark anymore because you have realized that you are the light. Dismantling false beliefs. You are currently in the process of unlearning. You are questioning every story you were ever told by your parents, your teachers, and society. The stories that said you weren't enough, that you had to look a certain way, or that wealth and peace were reserved for other people. You see through the lies. You are reclaiming your sovereignty and rewriting your worth from the ground up. You are the architect now, and you are building your life on a foundation of truth rather than a foundation of fear. Ending the cycle of feeding the monster. We all have a monster, that void inside that demands to be filled with power, pleasure, or praise, but you've stopped feeding it. You've realized that peace isn't a trophy you win or a destination you reach, it is something you allow. You've stopped looking for a fix outside of yourself. In that surrender, you find a sense of fullness that no amount of money or status could ever provide. You are finally, truly enough for yourself. Active choice in your narrative. The final sign is the realization that you are the author. You accept your past for what it was, a prologue, but you refuse to let it dictate the remaining chapters. You move from surviving your life to intentionally creating it. You choose who you are every single morning. You create from a place of wholeness, not lack. You have stepped out of the role of the victim and into the role of the visionary. If you recognized even one or two of these signs in your life today, take heart. You are not lost and you aren't falling behind. You are transforming. Evolution is a slow, sacred process, so be patient with yourself. Share this video with someone who might be struggling to understand their own shift, and let's continue to rise together. Remember, your story is still being written and you have the pen. Make it beautiful.